keeping it Pillar TV, where we continue to shape your destiny. This is Sharp Business, where we build your business. And today I want us to build you. I want us to talk about you who is earning a monthly income. I am your host, Vanessa Michere, and to take us through that is Mr. Raj, who is a specialist in sustainable development. Welcome on set, Raj.
Thank you, Vanessa.
Now, Raj, what is happening is that for employees, for people who have a monthly income, you can use it as a disadvantage or as an advantage. As a disadvantage because I know at the end of the month, I'm going to get some money. So people don't really plan. You find that they're just spending. On the other side of the coin, you can look at it as an advantage. You can use it as a tool to systematically plan your finances.
Exactly.
Now let's talk about these people who at the end of every month, the last week of the month, they're broke. What is happening?
When we talk about salaried people, I would say they are really blessed. It has both advantages and disadvantages depending upon how they really look at their salary or look at their money or look at their budget. When I say it is an advantage, because when you compare them with the entrepreneurs, the business people, it's not like you don't know what is your income the next day. You know what is your income. You know how much you're going to earn on the day one of the month, and you know how much you're going to use it for the whole month. That is, again, on the other hand, disadvantages, you don't know how to spend your money. When you have the money in your hand, the first 10 days you are a king, and the next 20 days you are a pauper. So it makes no sense if you're a salaried employed and you don't know how to use your money. It's a blessing. Again, it's a disguise if you don't use your blessing properly.
So you say that as an advantage, you know how to spend your money.
Yes.
So in a nutshell, you must have a budget.
Yes.
So how do you budget for your salary, no matter how small or how big it is?
It doesn't matter, even if you earn 5,000 shilling a month or 50,000 shilling a month or 500,000 shilling a month, it doesn't matter. Everything needs planning, and you have to have a budget for each amount. You can even run a family with 10,000 shillings. You can also run a family with 500 shillings with no money at the end of the month. So it all depends on how you plan your budget and how you spend your money and how you save your money, which is very important. And it is very critical for salaried people because the whole family is depending on your salary, and even though you know what you're going to earn by end of the month, you should know how to spend it as well. Otherwise, you're going to end up having more debts or even no money in your wallets by end of the month.
Okay, now what should I include in my budget?
Yeah, that's a very clever question, and everyone should know this. How you plan your monthly budget. For example, we'll take an example of somebody who is earning between 25 to 30,000 shillings a month, which is very common and a very middle class salary. When you look at 30,000 shillings a month, it is important for you to save minimum of 10% of your salary. You just take it out and keep it separately. And there is a certain amount that you have to invest on your insurance. Even though you pay insurance annually, you have to make sure you take that money and keep it separately every month. Say for example, your annual insurance policy premium is about 3,000 shillings, and you divide that into 12 months and take that money and keep it separately. Do not use it for other things. You might even say, okay, it's only the end of the year, it's only once in a year, I can just take 3,000 shillings at that month and put it there. No, you won't be able to do it. You will feel that constraint. It's better to divide that money and put it safely in a place so that you can pull everything together by that particular month and pay for the insurance policy. So you have to plan it. You have to plan exactly every single rupee that you're planning, and there's a small amount which you have to keep it for your family and taking out through the weekends to a movie or to a park or wherever. You have to have a budget for that as well, and you have to have budget for your food, monthly grocery, whatever you're buying for your home, and you should have a 15% for your health emergency expenses, which is very important. Your son or a daughter fell sick and you have to go to hospital, or you have some small accidents that happen, you have to have an emergency fund. And apart from that, you drive a two-wheeler, you drive a four-wheeler, you have a vehicle which has to also have a cost, a maintenance cost, which is again a 10% of your salary which goes into that. Again, you may not spend that money for that month, but again you are saving it so that you know there is an expense for that particular month. But if you save that and you don't use it, it's a saving, it goes into the saving. And again you save your money, you don't spend unnecessarily for something which is not useful for you.
Now, you talked about 15%
Yes.
for health,
Medical expenses,
medical expenses. Now, what is happening in Kenya is that most people don't save for those emergencies. You find a child is sick, and they really don't know where to, or maybe with just an illness that someone has to be hospitalized. You find that people have not saved for that. What would you advise?
I feel sorry.
Especially people don't understand about taking out health insurance. It's sort of like a new concept in Kenya right now.
See, health insurance is different from your monthly medical expenses. Health insurance is something that will protect you from major illnesses, like you want to get into a surgery, or you want to hospitalize for a few days, you have to go into a big treatment. So the insurance policies are useful for that, but not for your regular medical expense. Like if you fell sick and you have some vomiting, or you have an upset stomach and you go through some kind of fever or cold, these are regular medical expenses that you have to incur in every month. And if you don't budget it, you might feel that constrained by end of the month. You just have to spend it from some other budget. See, it's not a big thing to do a budgeting. It's very simple. Just one day or 2 days, you first sit and take a paper and a pen, write down your budget heads, like food, like medical expenses, like your leisure time with your family, your movie time. You put everything there. You put everything there and split your salary into that. And also remember, you should have some money which has to be in your wallet always. And your fuel expenses for the month, put everything regularly. If you do that for 1 month, it's going to be the same heads every month. You just have to do that every month again and again. But you will be really surprised to see how much money you save by doing these budgets, because there is a lot of budget heads which is not regularly going to happen like every month. Like for example, if it is fuel, it's going to happen every month. But when you look at the medical expenses, it's not going to happen every month. It comes once in a while. But if you don't spend it, it goes into the saving. You save a lot of money without even knowing. So that's a very important thing by doing budgeting. Budgeting is very important especially for salaried people, because you know what you're going to get and you're going to split the whole money into several budget heads and you're going to spend it.
So you've mentioned something like, even after budgeting, I must be left with some money in my wallet.
Yes.
So as I am putting down every list,
yes,
there has to be like a miscellaneous or something?
Yes, you have to have every shilling counted, and miscellaneous is something very important. It is always there. It can be between 5% to 10% of your salary. I'm just giving you an example because you will be able to easily do your budget. So 5% or 10% should be your miscellaneous, which is completely out of nowhere. If you get something very important, emergency, you have to do something, you have to take that from the miscellaneous. But if you do this planning, what the best part of budgeting is, you know what you're spending for what, and you know you're not spending anything excess. You plan your budget and then you execute it. By end of the month, you will know how happy you are and how peaceful you are.
So it's really about living within your budget.
Yes. It is very important to live within your budget. And see, budget is something you plan it. It's not somebody else is planning for you. Your money, your budget and your family, you're doing the planning. So you know how to plan it. And if you plan it in such a way that you have proper money for everything, then you're the happiest person in the world.
And Raj, I know you work with microfinance.
Yes.
And in Kenya, there is this trend where it's sort of like a merry-go-round, where people form a group of maybe 5 or more, or even up to 10 to 20. And every month you have to contribute a certain amount. And number 1 is given that amount this month, number 2 the next month, and so on. So in my budget, I know I have to contribute 5,000. It's not really, it's sort of like saving to that group. If I'm number 12, I receive it in the 12th month. Yeah, is that advisable? Because there's no interest.
Depends on somebody's earning capacity. Like for example, if someone has, I said earlier that at least you should save 10% of your money as a saving, And if somebody can save up to 50% of their money as savings so that they have so much of money, they can try that out. But I wouldn't advise it to somebody who is earning less and they want to invest more into that. It's like more like a gambling. It's not really advisable for someone to put all the money into the saving. See, I mean, saving is very important. You have to save, but at the same time, you should know how much you're saving, because it's like, for example, you have 3 meals a day, and you cut 1 meal, have only 2 meals, and save the third meal for the next month. That's not advisable. You have to be healthy. You have to eat what you want to eat, and you also have to save what you have to save.
Okay, all right. So Raj, now let's talk about two different kind of salaried people. There's the one who don't really have a family and don't really have a lot of responsibilities, and there is this other person who has school fees for 3 kids. He has a sick mother and all these other responsibilities. First, what would you advise this young person?
Okay, young person, if you're not saving, please start saving from today, because it's very important for you to save for your future. When I was not married, when I was earning money, lot of money, I never saved it, because I didn't know how important savings was at that time. Because you earn a lot of money, you just like to spend it, but by 5 years down the line, 6 years down the line, when you're married, when you have children, you may not be able to save how much you could have saved when you're not married. Like, for example, if you're not married and you're earning 50,000 shillings a month, you could easily save about 50% of that salary. But if you're married and you're earning the same 50,000, you could save only 10,000 shillings a month, which is very different from how much you're saving. Say if you have saved that money for 5 years, imagine how much savings you have right now in your hand, and you can be more happy than ever.
So start saving.
Start saving once you get a job, from the day one, because savings is going to help you for a long term.
Okay, now let's talk about understanding the savings and investment patterns.
Okay. When you look at savings, we say about 10 to 30% you can save. And how do you save this money is going to be a big question. One, you can buy small shares, which you can slowly invest, and you can look at a long-term return like 5 years, 6 years down the line. And you can also save in mutual funds, which is going to give you a little higher returns, but as a short term, like 1 year, 2 years, 3 years down the line, you might start getting the returns, but it may not be high as the shares, but it will be good for you. And the risk investing in mutual funds is lesser than investing in shares. But at the same time, where there is more risk, you get more returns. You should remember that. When there is less risk, you get less returns. When there is more risk, you get more returns. You always remember this formula.
All right. Now, last time you also mentioned the same about the shares, the mutual funds, and we are talking about entrepreneurs. Is there a difference in these investment opportunities for entrepreneurs and salaried people?
There is only one difference. Like for the entrepreneurs, they may not be able to invest on a monthly basis. They might have to invest like half yearly or annually. They just pool some money together and then they keep investing every year. But for a salaried people, they can do it every month. Like allot a portion of your salary and keep investing in every month on basis. There are investments on gold. You can do on gold online. There is a online gold where you can buy gold online in few grams and you sell it online. You don't even see the gold in your hands. It's just virtual. You just buy it online and sell it online. So it gives you, the gold is appreciating every single day. The rate differs. So you have to invest on that. You can invest on bonds. You can invest on several other things. You can Google it and find out what is the best investment companies in Kenya today, and you will get the list of companies, and you will just have to find which shares are better, and it will tell you what is the retention period. Retention period is basically how much time your money is going to be with them and then start giving you returns. Okay. The longer, it's better, because the longer you get more returns, shorter you get less returns. And you can look at starting from 5 years, 10 years, even 3 years. There are certain retention policies, but you may not get more returns. But if you look at 5 years and 10 years, yes, you can get more returns. I'm especially talking about the young people who have not married. They can start investing right now, 5 years, 10 years. When you have children after 10 years, you will be the wealthiest man in the world.
Wow. You have mentioned something very interesting about high risks. If you invest, high investment, high risk, and all that, about researching online, even investing in gold. And I think those are avenues that that Kenyans have not really looked into. And when we come back, I want us to talk more about that, taking risks in terms of investment. So keep it Pillar TV. Remember, you're watching Sharp Business, where we build your business.
Pillar TV, shaping your destiny.
Welcome back to Sharp Business, where we continue to build your business and, of course, shaping your destiny. With me today is Raj, and we are talking about financial planning for salaried people. Now, before the break, Raj, you were talking about high-risk investment equals to high-risk return.
Yes.
Let's talk about diversifying your investment.
Okay. Investments are basically for everybody. Anybody can do an investment in different things. One could be share markets, one could be mutual funds, one could be fixed deposits or a recurring deposit. It could be recurring deposits are the smallest ones, or just do a saving in a bank. Anything is an investment. It depends upon how much time you invest and how much return you take from each investment. Shares are the highest paid returns investment, where you get highly paid back. And mutual funds are the next, where you paid more, but at the same time you get it at a very shorter period. And then fixed deposits, yes, you have a lot of options in fixed deposits, depending upon how much term you save, how much term you deposit. Like there is a 1 year deposit term, 5 years, 3 years. You can do for anybody anything you want. But there are a lot of organizations which offer you doubling your return or tripling your return. You have to be careful with them. The doubling and tripling of returns is based on the interest they pay for your money. It is not just the return. You have to be careful when you talk to somebody who is coming and telling you, sir, you give me 10,000 shillings, I'll give you 20,000 shillings. It may not be possible. It may be possible, but longer period of time. It cannot happen just in few days or few months. It's not going to happen. So please be careful. Before you invest on anything, read all the documents properly and see how it is useful for you. There are a lot of online websites where you can read reviews about different investment plans. Like if there is someone who, if you are interested to invest in a share, look at the companies and read review about the companies, how the company is performing, whether it is good or bad. And I also personally suggest not to choose companies which is spoiling the community. Like I don't want you to invest in a company which is producing liquor or cigar. You are not actually contributing to the community, you are contributing something wrong. So please make sure you invest on the right companies which is working for the welfare of the community, which is also very important.
Okay. Now, Raj, savings versus investment, because you find that for most salaried people, I will save a certain amount every month. So that money is just stagnant, it's just lying in the bank. What would you advise such a kind of person who is very good with savings, but it's just lying there?
Yeah, okay. Somebody is saving 5,000 shillings a month. Let's take an example. The 5,000 shillings is sitting in the bank. And we know this money can generate certain income just lying in the bank. It can give you about 2.5 to 3% per annum just lying in the bank. But you should think whether that is enough for me. Then you convert your 5,000 shillings, 50% of it, into a fixed deposit. Fixed deposits can earn you about 6.5% to 7.5%, which is higher than just lying on the bank. You can even choose that. That is no risk at all. It's zero risk, and you earn 6 to 7% just instead of earning 3.5%. And you want to earn more, then you look at investing the same money instead of fixed deposits, go into a mutual funds which can earn you 10 to 20% per annum, which is higher than a fixed deposit. Now you want to even earn more, then you go into shares where you can earn more than 100% or even 200% depending upon the term and the retention that you choose. So, it all depends on how you want to earn. See, if for me, if you ask me what I would like to earn, I would like to go for a mutual fund or a fixed deposit because there is no risk. But if I decide to take more risk, I can get into the shares and I can start investing in the shares. It all depends on how much I want to earn, or I don't want to earn anything, I just want to save. It all depends on you, but so it depends on you what goal you have.
So it goes back to high risk, high investment,
less
high
risk.
Returns.
Yes.
High risk investment equals to high returns.
Yes.
Okay, now let's talk about, you said it's all about the individual, how much you want to earn. Goals in life.
Yes.
What are your goals in life? For example, just to give an example, some years back, owning a car was a luxury, but you find that nowadays it's becoming a necessity, and it's even easier to own a car. People are taking out loans. Does that mean that the economy growth we have developed in Kenya, the middle class is expanding?
Yeah, when you look at development of a country economically, it means that the buying power of the people has gone up. How do we measure this? How do we measure the buying power has gone up? Because somebody who owns a two-wheeler, a motorbike, will now own a car. That means the buying power of that particular individual has gone up, because the cost of motorcycle is different from the cost of the car. And if somebody is owning a car already, is now buying to buy a house, now his buying power has increased from car to buying a house, which is definitely, that means it is development, it is growing economically. On the other hand, when you look at the lifestyle of the people, when you look at how a person lives, like for example, when you go to a village, they are content with just walking from one place to the other. They don't really need a vehicle. But when you go to a town, you might need a vehicle as a transport from one place to the other. Some might like, okay, a bicycle is more than enough for me. Some might think, no, I need a car, I need a bike to drive from my place to office. So it all depends on how we look at our lifestyle. The lifestyle also depends on where you live. Whether you are living in a village, a town or a city like Nairobi, you would like to have a car because you see everyone driving a car and you also like to have a car. And that is what the lifestyle makes you a better person in terms of economic growth.
But how do you say that if I live maybe in Nairobi, I see people driving a car, I want to own a car. How do I avoid that peer pressure? What if I can't afford? Must I? Because people are really taking out loans to buy cars and things that they cannot afford.
Yeah, I was about to tell you about loans, and you have asked me the right question. See, as I said earlier, when you budget your salary, you know how much you are budgeting for each heads. One of your heads would be your goal of buying a house, goal of buying a car. It could be anything. See, I wouldn't say it's a peer pressure of owning a car, because it's a lifestyle change. When you live in a city, you always dream of having a car. It's nothing wrong in dreaming to have a car, but at the same time, whether your salary, whatever you are earning, is going to support you buying a car is a big question.
Is it sustainable?
Is it sustainable? And your debt, according to economic standards, your debt should not cross 30% of your salary. And if you are going to pay your loans within the 30%, I think you are well enough to buy a car. But if you cannot afford, you are going to pay 50% of your salary to the debt, to a loan, then I don't advise you to buy a car right now. You should plan so that you can buy a car within the 30% of your debt. Because how do we bring your debt within 30% is by saving. You save a certain amount every month. Over a period of years, like 2 years, 3 years down the line, you have some amount in hand which you can pay as a down payment, and the rest of the money you can convert it into loan, which could come within the 30% of your bracket. It could even be 10%, and it's good for you. So you have to plan accordingly. So you should also know when I am going to buy my car. 2017, I've started my planning. Okay, 2020, I'm going to have my car. So this is the budget I'm going to plan for it, and you plan it, and you get a car. Nothing wrong in it.
So it's all about planning. It's all
Exactly.
about budgeting.
Yes.
Now, let's talk about the golden rule of 72.
Okay. The golden rule of 72 is widely used all over the world. This is to make you more easier to budget your money. Say for example, you're going to invest, you're going to do a fixed deposit, you're going to do a share investment, mutual funds, whatever. The bank will come and tell you, I'm going to give you 10%, I'm going to give you 15%, I'm going to give you 30%, and I'm going to double your money in few years, and you just have to calculate it with this number 72. It's a basic mathematical calculation. You just have to ask, what is the percentage of return I'm going to get for my investment? That should be your first question. When you ask that, they will tell you X amount, like 9%, 10%, 11%. Divide that percentage by 72, you will get in number of years when your money will be doubled.
Can we like sort of work with a specific figure?
Yeah, we can do that.
Like maybe how much do you want to take?
Let's say 10%.
No, let's first of all take someone's income.
Yeah.
Earning 50,000 shillings.
Okay.
Let's start from there.
Okay, let's say someone is earning 50,000 shillings and he wants to invest 10,000 shillings this month into a fixed deposit or a mutual fund, whatever. So the banker comes and tells you, I'm going to double your money in 5 years, just give me 10,000 shillings. So you now have to ask him what is the return that you're going to pay in terms of percentage. Then he will say like, okay, 10% I'm going to pay. Okay, now you have to do 72 divided by 10, which is 7.2. Your money will be doubled only in 7.2 years and not in 5 years. So he's lying to you. It won't get doubled. So you have to do the calculation. And if you want to do it like 3 year and 5 year, you just divide it by 114 and 144. Just a thumb rule. Divide these 72, 114, 144 by the percentage what the bank is offering. You will know in how many years your money will be doubled or tripled or 4 times.
So now, Raj, you are telling us things that people don't really know or understand, because people usually trust the banks, you know. That's the only place maybe you can go to when you want to invest, when you want to get a loan, but there are all these hidden rules that you don't know about. We need someone to tell me, no, this is what it is. Does that translate to the fact that I myself as an individual, whether I'm salaried or an entrepreneur, do I need a financial planner?
Absolutely. Anyone for that matter need a financial planning. If you can't do it, you can take support from somebody who does the financial planning for you. It's not going to cost you much, but it is going to help you in doing what you want to do. And exactly the financial planning is so important so that you know how you're spending your money and how much you're saving and how wisely I'm spending my money. Not just spending money, how wisely you're doing it, which is more important. And one aspect of all your salaried people, it's not just spending your money, not just saving your money, it is also important to give back to the society, which I also want to emphasize, because giving back to the society means that you are reinvesting for your society from where you grew up, where you learnt everything, where you started everything. So you have to give back. Remember always, whatever you earn, you have to give back little so that God will bless you abundantly 100 times more than you give.
All right. So it's about not just investing, but investing wisely.
Yes.
And the last thing that you just mentioned about giving back to the society, let us just quickly look at financial planning from a biblical perspective.
Okay. See, financial, one thing we need to make sure what Bible says is, whatever you have today it's God-given thing. It's not what you own, what you earned in this world. It is given by only God and not you. You are only using it for, and you are responsible one day to answer God why you have used this money for what. So you know, when I say this, God gives you money, there are a lot of things coming into this. Number one, you know how to use it wisely, you know how to invest it, you know how to save it, you know how to spend it. When you spend it, you don't spend it for unnecessary things which is not godly, and when you invest it, you invest wisely, not on companies which is against people's welfare, and you also save money because you have to give it back to the society, and your personal wealth and whatever you spend for yourself, it's also very important. So everything there is God. There is nothing, you're not even existing in this world without God. So whatever you earn, whatever you possess, your car, your vehicle, your jewels, your dress, your house, everything is God given. And when it is God given, it is your responsibility to use it wisely. So financial planning starts from there. And when you look at Joseph, he was taken to Egypt when he was young, and he didn't know what planning was all about, but he was able to govern the whole country, and he was able to save for 7 years during the famine in Egypt. And that was a huge thing, and it was a planning. Without planning, he wouldn't have saved so much of grains for the next 7 years, and he was able to not only feed the Egyptians but also the other neighboring countries, and they were all coming there for taking the grains from them. So it was planning. It's all about planning, and God and the whole Bible talks about planning, financial planning everywhere in every single part. And you should also take the parable of the talents that was given to 3 different people. One was given 1 talent, the other one was given 2, and the other one was given 5. And they were the one who got 5 was able to make 10 out of the 5. And the one he did not do anything about it. He just buried it into the soil and just kept it. And the owner was not happy about it. So whoever made it double, he got back the whole money. So it's all about planning, all about growing, all about investing, and all about earning more money. And also remember, it is responsibility to use the money wisely because it's God's money.
Wow, thank you so much, Raj. It's actually been a very insightful conversation. This is Sharp Business, where we build your business, and you are watching Pillar TV, where we shape your destiny. Now, it is important to have a financial strategy, and if you like to get more tips on financial planning, maybe you like to get advice from a financial planner, you can contact us or at info@pillartv.com, and we'll have the answers for you. And until next time, I have been your host, Vanessa Michere.